Hi everyone, Soul Super 17 here. Let me feel like usual. I did not own this picture, non-pay these pictures in non-pay video. I made the thumbnail. Alright, so, here's the thing. This was a video, like I said, in my community tab I had it like a year ago. I did not think it would work, but I kind of thought about it, and I kind of saw some videos of where the outsider was in Naruto's world. So, I'm doing my take on this, and where we're technically going to have Naruto's journey starting with the mark of the outsider. By the way, if no one knows, it is Dishonored. Just look up Dishonored 1 and 2, you'll understand, or look up, like interesting facts about it and such, or walkthroughs. Alright, so then basically that's got out of the way. There are a few things that are going to change. There's these things called ruins? Runes? Yeah, runes. Sorry, my mind goes to ruins. But runes of whale bones that Corvo and Emily, characters from Dishonored 1 and 2, would have to take to upgrade. And this one is going to be different. I am going with, though, if you guys are wondering, a combination between Corvo, mostly with some Emily and Billy, from the whole entire Dishonored Death at the Outsider. Only probably one ability from that, and that's it. The rest of the abilities I'm going to give him are going to be ones that I'm going to create on my own, and what I'm going to add it into a list where I think will be good. Because I'm going with how he acts. What's his personality, how he's been treated. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it is. Basically, it's gonna be very interesting for me for me to try to figure this out because of this. I don't know what the void can give. So, in a sense, let me give you a little, guys, of background information first. Probably just another minute or two. Basically, in the Death of the Outsider, we all know the Outsider, if no one knows, spoiler alert, dies. It's right in the title, though, so it's kind of an obvious thing. But he planned this. If you guys are wondering what I mean by that, for this what if, he planned it. He planned his, well, not plan, more like he knew he was going to die. And that's how he basically goes to different worlds and be there. So he kind of looks into a world that he's interested in. As long as he has a world he wants to go to, he'll go there. So in a sense, it was Naruto's world. And he saw the world, what happened. And he thinks this is way more entertaining than Corvo's world. Well, Corvo's Emily's world, so in a sense, he decided to go there. But it's going to be when the whole entire Leaf Village is just, like, after it was made. So in a sense, he already knows about the whole entire future. He knows about Naruto and what he goes through. So in a sense, he'll probably forget over time, but as long as he basically keeps an eye and senses the person he wants most of all, because he knows how interesting they're going to be, he'll give them, he's going to give Naruto the mark anyways. So in a sense, yeah, Billy kills him. He goes to Naruto's world. He basically, though, somehow is underneath the Uzumaki clan's. Hold up. Okay, like I was saying, he lands in Ushigakure. Probably said that wrong. I tried my best, actually. I kept saying it as many times as I could. But anyways, though, he doesn't land in the village, more like it's underneath, and he did kind of have a theory of what he could have done. So, in a sense, let's just say this. Uzumaki clan, scrolls, they had a special way of doing it, making scrolls in this one to last a very long time. They were actually able to hold the void's power, in a sense, and a description of what the actual technique does. He did allow some Uzumakis to have knowledge of him, basically like the head of the village, the head of the clans. They did, in a sense, have even better abilities. No one knew how they had it, but they did. In a sense, though, they were pretty much another reason why they were basically wiped out, in a sense. And they also made talismans, which technically they were talismans. Basically instead of bone charms, it's talismans charms, and then because of no rune, rune charm. I mean, no rune. Basically, they have scrolls. So basically, it's just like rune scrolls, basically. And the Void basically produced them, and he kind of may have had some people influenced from other nations to scour them around and such. So yeah, basically though, time passed and everything happened in Naruto. Now though, we go into the story, so let's go. Basically, we have Naruto sleeping. It's the day where, well, it's the night before Zabuza and Haku attack Tazuna on the bridge. Naruto is sleeping. He's having this weird dream. He knows he's on, well, a bed, basically a futon, and he basically, though, feels a draft. And this wakes him up because it's cold. A cold draft hits his face. He's like, why is the window open? Sasuke, close the window. But he hears nothing. He's like, hey, Tem, close the window. He throws the pillow, and it technically makes no sound. And he kind of gets scared. So he wakes up, and what he sees is the Void. He was like, I'm not in the wave, am I? As then he hears someone basically from behind, like, no, you are not, Uzumaki, Naruto. Which he turns around, he sees this man, basically the guy in the picture, basically, just looking at him. He was like, who are you? He was like, I? Well, I am many things. Many things indeed. But for you, I am the outsider. Which he's like, the outsider? He's like, yes. I've been keeping my eye on you. A boy who has suffered by the hands of his own village. A great burden has been placed upon you. Have even been gone through great pain and suffering and neglect. And so many people lying behind your back. I mean, to be fair, I'm very impressed by you. Which Naruto's like, has an eyebrow raised. And he goes like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, oh, well, in all due time, Naruto. Anyways, you intrigued me. I mean, before I came to this world, I looked into this world and I found it very interesting and entertaining. But I only saw a little bit of you. Far into the future, that is, of what you'll achieve. And I must be, well, I do say, very, very impressed. Which, I cannot tell you anything. Naruto's like, wait, you're impressed by me? He goes, yes. I mean, you hold the nine-tailed fox at only half of its strength. Still impressive, by the way. Which Naruto's like gaping at that. He goes like, what do you mean how? He goes like, well, that's for me to know and you to ask the fox. But, anyways. Listen to me, Naruto Uzumaki. I have, how should I say, a gift I want to give you. It could give you great things, great potential unlocked. Heck, you could actually even, how should I say, become even stronger than what you would in the future. So, I'll give you it. But in return, well, I'll have to tell you that after you accept it. You have a choice. Be the same ninja you are, and basically go through difficult times and trials. And never know what I saw, true or not. Because, well, fate can be changed any time. Or, take my gift, gain power and change the world any way you see fit. Rule it, destroy it, heck, do nothing with it. It does not matter to me as long as you entertain, well, or should I say, keep my interest. Truly. Which Naruto is kind of, weirded out by him. He's just like, he was just like floating and then he's just walking. He was like, okay, what's the catch then? He goes, so, you realize something, huh? Please, tell me what you realized, though. So I make sure. No offense to your intelligence, Naruto. He goes, there's a price for everything. I learned that from many people. They wouldn't help me without a price. Which, basically the outsider nods. He was like, yes, exactly. Well, first off, the only price I ask is that you stop hiding behind that stupid mask of yours. Which Naruto was shocked. He goes like, how do you... He goes, oh, I know a lot. You see, I'm what you can say knowledgeable of many things. I've been around a lot longer than you, Naruto Uzumaki. A lot longer than you. For instance, if you accept, I'll be able to even show you some of your past that Hiruzen Sarutobi would not tell you. Which Naruto's eyes widen. He goes, but Gigi wouldn't... Wait. He hasn't told me about my parents. I mean, he has, but he hasn't told me their names. He goes, oh, well, I will show you. And I'm not going to dangle it in front of your face like a treat, if you're wondering. No, I will show you it. I give you my word. Which Naruto, looking at the outsider, really thinking about it, he just nods. He goes, good. As the mark starts to appear on Naruto's left hand, the top of his hand, basically. The mark that you see in the picture. And, well, it burns. And Naruto has felt pain, but to basically have this actually burn onto him, it hurts like anything else would hurt. And so he stops. He stops like grunting in pain or even scream a little bit. And he goes, you could have warned me about that. He goes like, oh, trust me. If you even tried to, even know, you would have still been screaming. It happens to many people. You weren't the first person I gave that mark to. He goes, wait, what? There's others? Of course there's others. I basically give my gift not just to anyone, only to the people who I find interesting, like you. So, now, to fulfill my end of the bargain, or deal, I will tell you of who you are. But no, this will cause a rift between you and, Hiruzen Sarutobi, heck, even your sensei. But to be fair, I will show you why he does not recognize who you are. In which Naruto's just questioning it, as basically, though, he says, oh, by the way, you do have an ability already. It's called Blink. He goes, Blink? How should I explain this? As long as you see where you want to go and focus on it, holding your hand out, your left one, you'll be able to blink to it. But, since this is different than the world that we came from previously, I sort of modified it. Not for many people. For you, though, I thought it was fitting. He goes, wait, what? What do you mean fitting? Well, as all of a sudden, a three-pronged kunai with the mark of the outsider appears. As he throws it to Naruto, Naruto catches it. He goes, this is a three-prong, just like the fourth Hokage. You'll see why I gave it to you. You see, I was actually quite surprised with him. Him actually recreate something that seems exactly like Blink. I was actually quite impressed with him normal person. Now, please, follow me. As Naruto walks to the edge, and he basically just looks at where where the outsider is, outsider telling him to follow. As Naruto just throws the kunai. Naruto has practiced kunai throwing a lot in this one. By the way, just want to say this. So, but it's still he can't get a perfect mark. So he doesn't land like right in the center of the place, and it's like a big platform. So in a sense, he lands the kunai on it, and then all of a sudden, he basically sees a light towards going towards him, or just say he sees a light of the pathway, and then all of a sudden he's right there, right where the kunai is. As the kunai immediately is already in his hand. He goes, "What the?" He goes, "Well, allow me to explain a little bit more since you're confused, Naruto. Your blink ability is similar to the Horatian, aka the Flying Thunder God. You basically, though, the difference is, you basically see where your kunai is, and you're able to teleport to it. Your range is vast, actually. It's only, well, how should I say this? Imagine Konoha. From here to Konoha, you won't be able to blink to. But from Konoha, from the Hokage Hokage Monument to your apartment, you will be able to. Actually, only from the Hokage Monument, if you threw outside of Konoha, about 2 to 3 miles outside of Konoha, you'll still be able to blink to it. Which Naruto's eyes widened. He goes, as long as you can see in the distance, you'll be able to blink to it. But it would use a lot more stamina. Which Naruto, following the outsider while the outsider is basically explaining, though. But you don't. How should I say this right? Your stamina, though, would not be used for it unless you go over your mana. He goes, mana? Oh, yes. Allow me to explain. Magic. You see, in the world I came from, there was these, whales. There were certain runes that I used that basically were from whales. Bones. And there was elixirs. Red and blue. The blue one helped with, the previous user's mana, aka magic, to get it, help them regenerate it. With you, I was able, not just with you actually, with the people here in this world, I was able to convert mana to the amount of chakra that they have. And as much as their chakra increases, same thing with their mana. So in a sense, with your massive amount of reserves, along with the help of the cubies, you have almost godlike mana. So in a sense, you'll be able to use the Horatian, aka Blink, as an example, multiple times, and at a far distance. But for now, though, it will consume your stamina. Not much, though. Very little. About, you can actually run for hours on end, so if you can run about 12 hours a day, non-stop, it only would conserve 2 hours. Which Naruto just stops and looking at him and blinking. He's like, seriously? He's like, uh-huh. Yes, I mean, I thought it would be way more interesting to have that happen. Convert chakra and, be the same amount as mana with it. And it has been quite interesting to see. Many people have done many things with them. Some people have tried to become heroes with my power. Some have become way more tyrannical. I do not basically choose the path they follow. I tell them the exact same thing I told you. You can do whatever you want with it. And they do. I do not stop them. Which Naruto was always like, but why? Couldn't you not help out people? He goes, that's the thing, Naruto. I'm not meant to help. I'm only meant to observe, and I've been here in the void for many years. So a little bit of giving people power and entertaining is the only thing I have to actually not be bored. Imagine you being the fox, being trapped into a cage for many, many years, without any freedom. and you can't do nothing. You can't see nothing. You can't run, eat, or even see the outside world. What would you feel? He goes, boredom. He goes, exactly. Now, we have arrived at the destination I wanted to show you. As what was happening, they basically Naruto and the was passing some things that were happening. A boy and a girl, one with yellow hair, one with red hair, one with blue eyes, one with hazel eyes, and now they're at the scene of them holding a baby. Well, the woman with red hair and hazel eyes, or violet eyes, I think. Yeah, is holding a child with whisker marks and yellow hair. He goes, wait, that face, that's the fourth Hokage. He goes, yes. And that is Kushina Uzumaki. Or should I say Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. And Minato Namikaze. Your parents. Which Naruto's eyes widen. He goes, now, you see, only on a day such as this, where a female Jinchuriki is giving birth, does the seal on the Jinchuriki weakens. So he shows Naruto someone holding him and threatening him, then Minato saving him, and then the whole entire scene's playing out. He even sees the QB, killing his parents, but, showing that they actually did went in for to protect him. And then the whole entire scenes of them telling Kushina telling Naruto, what she hopes for him to do and actually to do. Sleep, eat well, make many friends, even if it's not a lot. Get a girl just like her, just like her. So in a sense, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, Naruto's gonna get someone just like his mother. But anyways, back to the story. And then Minato, what he says. Heck, he even finds out what Hiruzen tries to do. He gets mad because, do not blame Hiruzen at all. Do not blame him. The council is, how should I say, very particular and very, untrustworthy. So he shows the scene how the council were trying, was saying, was they saying like, kill him, he's the demon incarnate, blah, blah, blah. And that Hiruzen did try, literally would silence them and try to tell the villagers, and then, the council in the room, and they still want to listen. And then one man, he says, one man changed it all. Or I say, many men changed it all. And he said, wait, really? He was like, yes, but in due time, you'll get your revenge if you want it, that is. So, he basically travels to a pedestal. Well, more like two pedestals. One that holds a rune scroll. He goes, take this. As he basically is pointing to he's having his hand over to the rune scroll. He's like, what's this? He goes, oh, this is the source of your powers. Oh, to increase them and make them stronger. He was like, wait, what? He goes, pretend it like this, Naruto. You're able to attach something or get better gear. You have your, suit. Or should I say, your jumpsuit. I would say if you bought something new, that's an upgrade, correct? He goes, yeah, if I didn't have this. He goes, so, you upgraded your jumpsuit for something like, and then suddenly Ambu clothes appear. He was like this. He goes, yeah, that's what you'll do. But in a sense, you have to focus on it. Well, you will have options with the scroll. You can read it. But in this case, this one can only be upgrading your blink ability. Now, what this is, as Naruto is still holding the scroll, the outsider moves out of the way, and Naruto sees a heart floating in midair. He goes, wait, is that a heart? He goes, oh yes, actually. This heart was basically used by two people. Another person I gave the gift to named Corvo, Corvo. I cannot say his last name. And then this was used by in two different timelines where it was used by his daughter named Emily, who was the princess/queen of her kingdom, and Corvo again. This though would give you many different descriptions. Heck, this actually can actually help you to find out who's good and who's evil. Who deserves the one to die, basically. Which Naruto was like, to die? He goes, well, this is the ninja world. People die all the time. And it's the job of a ninja to kill. And I really can tell you'll, well, find out. But you'll find that out very quickly. But you are not a monster, Naruto, for killing somebody. If you feel guilty for it, and you show them and you show that person with respect in the end. Heck, even trying to convince them not to, fight you, is still saying you still have your humanity. Remember that, Naruto. Do not change yourself, but do not be afraid to kill if necessary. Do you understand? I think so. It was good. It seems like you, without your mask, can understand many things already. Now, though, this was, how should I say this, similar to the heart of Corvo's wife or lover, because it held a piece of her there. But for this one, this ain't exactly the same one. I created this out of, well, clay. It looks realistic, and it moves like it still. You're still a child, 13 years old. I did not want to, well, put you through something traumatic. Basically, the outsider's lion. It still has the normal heart from the games. If you guys don't know, the heart I'm talking about is the telltale heart. It basically gives descriptions on basically ruins, bone charms, people in the second game, on who basically who can live and who can die. So, in a sense, yeah, the functions of it still works. And the voice is still Emily's mother. I did not get far in the second game, but I have saw some videos, so I forget if she was sacrificed or something. No, it's not Emily's mother. So in this case, it is someone that he asked, or should I say, has basically went to get from death by bringing her very soul into the void. He basically, when Naruto takes it and he holds it, it activates, and basically the silhouette of his mother is there as a holographic, image. As he goes, Mom? She basically, unlike in the game, he allowed her to have way more emotions. And she goes, Naruto! I'm so happy to see you. You look all grown up. I mean, I still have my chakra with inside the seal, but still, I'm glad I can see you again like this. In which the outsider chuckles. He just thinks to himself, I never was this attached to anybody before, not even Corvo or Emily. But for some reason, even I am drawn into him and his endless potential. I mean, sometimes humans are fascinating. So, he basically coughs. He's like, I'm sorry to, ruin this lovely moment, but allow me to give you something else, Naruto. He was like, wait, what? What do you mean? As all of a sudden, basically a seal appears on his left wrist. He's like, what the? He was like, that is to keep the heart away from people. No one can know about it. You see, if anyone takes it, they'll be able to use it just like you. You do not want to have that item away. Trust me on this one. It's like, yeah. Good. Now, let me just give you another word of advice. You have to travel around. Get stronger, physically and in your powers of the void. The area we are. I will allow you to come back into the void to find locations of these items, so that way you are way more easier to. I even will help you increase your jutsu arsenal, even allow you some skills of genjutsu. Which Naruto's eyes won. He was like, wait, you will? He was like, Well, I have many years to actually well, how should I say, copy and improve on some of these jutsus. Even your shadow clone would. Oh, by the way, to help you with your chakra control issue, the shadow clones can give back memories to the user, even experiences, like meditation, chakra control, but not physical training. So in a sense, you have to do that yourself. But reading, gaining knowledge, information, chakra control, that's all they can do. Have fun, Naruto. As then all of a sudden Naruto wakes up. He basically, though, sees already, he can feel two things in his hand. Well, actually three. The rune scroll and the actual, telltale heart and the kunai. In which he goes like, it wasn't a dream. Wait, let me. He sees the seal on the on his wrist. He goes like, it's not a dream. Holy cow! Which basically he gets on his his orange jumpsuit, well clothing basically that he has in canon, and he basically hears not Ayami, but basically Inari's mother screaming. And Naruto's like, oh no! So, he actually thinks, I actually get a chance to test this out. You know what? He's right. He basically, though, looks at the, telltale heart. He goes, Mom, I'm gonna put you inside the seal, okay? She was like, do your best and don't get hurt. He just nods. And the seal basically, goes back. So, what happens is very simple. Naruto immediately throws the kunai outside the window, hitting a tree where there's a branch, and immediately blinks to it. And he takes out the kunai. What happens is very simple. Inara does his thing, and all of a sudden, basically, two clones. When he made a clone, he actually noticed they have exactly the same kunai. He goes, what the? You know what? Never mind. He basically throws the kunai, basically to be in the middle. He's not blinking yet. If he's finding it weird, he basically realized the scroll is still in the basically Tazna's house. So, in a sense, right when the bandit is about to try to kill Inari, that's when he basically blinks. But also the shadow clone blinks to where his mom is, Inari's, and, well, substitute her out with it, with also holding the kunai. In a sense, well, Inari gets saved, but by the bandit getting kicked with the kunai still in his hand. And before the even guy could do anything, or even realize when they substitute out, the shadow clone has the kunai towards the guy's neck. And the guy's just like, huh? And, well, he basically kills, actually no, he doesn't kill the guy. He just freaks out. He goes like, what the? But the other guy who got hit, basically Naruto goes in and immediately uses chakra and kicks him in the face. Knocking him out, but also making him have a few bones broken. Then the other one, the clone, basically uses some chakra, does a roundhouse kick by jumping in the air and kick him in the forehead in the temple and knocking him out. So, they're both knocked out. Naruto's like, good job, Inari. Your father will be proud of you. He was like, yeah, thanks. So, the Shadow Clone goes back up, and he basically throws the scroll to Naruto, and basically it poofs. But the thing is, Naruto still sees the kunai on the ground. Well, technically, the Shadow Clone accidentally dropped it, he realized, and it's still there. So he picks it up, it feels just normal. So he puts back the kunai that he just picked up in his, kunai pouch, including the one that he already had. So he opens up the scroll, the rune scroll, and what he sees by blink. He goes, this will allow you to basically have farther reach. Heck, not heck, but farther reach, and it will allow you to see where the kunai is. This will also basically then can allow you to view where people are to spy if needed. This can only last, though, the kunais can only be there for a day and they'll disappear. Also, tip: when shadow clones are being used, the kunais will stay with you. Well, stay. Only if you are far away from them will they basically disappear, but if a shadow clone left it, they'll stay and become physical. Also, it's better off to limit the kunais in some way. Maybe even keep it in a storage scroll for later. Which Naruto's like, huh, good tip. But heck, this will allow me to go even farther, even see where the kunais are? Man, I love these things. So Naruto rolls back up the scroll and just concentrates a little. And then all of a sudden, it just basically turns into black fire and covers Naruto's body and then, real quickly and then disappears. Naruto's like, huh, that's cool. So Inari and his mom were very shocked and confused. Give me a minute, guys. Alright, sorry, but anyway, so after that, Naruto looks at him and goes like, hey, you think you'll be fine on your guys' own? They nod and he's like, alright, I go see my team. See ya. As basically, he goes. And Naruto does exactly the same thing in canon, along with his mom running after him. So, Naruto gets to the bridge. Most of the things I do not see Naruto doing here would not be using the power, because on the way he would think he can't trust them or his sensei just yet. He can't explain how to them yet. He has to think of a way. So, everything would go exactly the same, even along with basically the Nine Tails being released, and him basically not killing Haku. And the whole entire speech of Haku telling him on who he is, on his life story and such, And then Kakashi killing him, along with Zabuza basically finding out that Gato was never gonna pay him. And that infuriates Naruto, for one, because 2 people's lives are gonna be wasted of life. And in such, because of, him believing of becoming a Hokage and such, it doesn't like to, see and waste the potential, you could say, but mostly because he doesn't like to see that, people dying for no reason. Naruto is mad at Gato. Basically, though, I want to say this. Naruto was making you see everything stopping in slow, everything just stops as then the outsider appears. He was like, you have a choice, Naruto. Show the world your power, or let the man die. Hereby taking revenge for his son figure / student. Let him die the way he wants. I mean, this is one of the choices you have to make. So, I wanted to see what you want to do. Which Naruto goes like, you... Okay. So what? You want me to use my power and, attack them? Showing basically points to Kakashi and Sakura, who, basically is just being Sakura, crying. But basically, we should just go back to point to Kakashi, the power. And he was like, well, I did told you, but I just wanted to see your answer. He goes, you already know my answer. He goes, he just nods. But I think I'll give you at least one little thing right now, though. He was like, huh? What do you mean? He goes, just a way. He kind of waves his hand, and a creature, you can say, comes from behind, Kakashi. Basically, puts over a shroud of shadows over his eyes, but then it goes back to looking like Kakashi. He was like, what did you... He goes, oh, put a genjutsu on him. he'll see that you are down, and it is Uchiha Sasuke. Most people would also see that. He goes, why? Why you gave it to Tem? He goes, are you curious why? He goes, yeah, because you need strength. That is true. But you also need to lay low. I technically saw something I did not like. You being, well, let's just say, wasting away. Which Naruto's eyes widen. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, he basically shows Hiruzen and Councilman about the villager saying this unstrange power, they need to basically put him in a cell and such. And basically, Hiruzen is trying to not tell them that, that he's a village, he's basically my ninja, the council can't do this, but the ninja council can, but they say the civilians also have a vote in this. And he was out, voted. In a sense, Naruto basically saw he was in a cell. And he was there for many years until he escapes. Which he was shocked. He's mad. But technically he does, but then the outsider says the Ninja Council was wary of your power. To them, it was unknown. They didn't know if it was by the QB and such. Can you blame them, though? Because, no. I honestly can't. But, I mean, you did hear for them to say him being in a cell. Some were saying, well, most of the civilians, as the outsider points to, was saying cell/execution. The Ninja Council was saying him being on watch and being in the village only. Him basically being in a secured area. Cell was the last thing. But the final two members of the council, well, three, besides Hiruzen, had the final say in it. I mean, after this, though, Hiruzen was taken out of office, which Naruto's eyes widened, and he goes, so, Danzo took over. The man with that, well, broken arm and missing eye. So you mean, yes. That is what I'm trying to prevent. Because it wouldn't be that interesting, even with the power I gave you. You wouldn't have become strong enough to even leave. But she goes, thank you, I guess. He goes, it's all in my own interest. As when he just leaves, time restarts. So, basically, Kakashi is starting to see it's not Naruto, but the outsider did also lie to Naruto again by saying it was Sasuke. He sees Naruto on the ground, knocked out with someone in a mask, in a weird outfit, with basically a sword in hand. Naruto, though, has a kunai. And for some weird reason, he's basically shaking his head. He goes like, hey, you, what you did to Naruto? He was like, huh? But when Kakashi hears this, don't worry, he's only knocked out. Now then, outsiders messing with his mind. Why not? So, Naruto just, shakes his head, like, whatever. So he looks at Zabuza, he totally, Kakashi already sees Zabo with a kunai in his mouth. Naruto throws him a regular kunai. While Naruto basically has his 3-prong kunai with the outsider mark, at least makes 6k bunchins, and legit says, alright guys, you know what to do! So they throw their kunais. Naruto are seeing them trying to focus on them, but he realized only he can literally see all the lines of every kunai. When he looks at his clone and says, no. He's like, another thing the outsider didn't tell me. Oh well. So what happens is simple. He throws his kunai, and then all of a sudden, right when it's in midair, and Zabuza already went and running, basically every single person that, Naruto, see Zabuza is killing, some kunais did hit them in the shoulders and such, but with him, when he basically, his one kunai basically, is about to hit a person, he blinks to it. And that's what basically Kakashi sees. He sees this person blinking, and he doesn't know what, but it looks like the Flying Thunder Guard, the Horatian to him. He's like, Sensei? And it's just like, how should I say this? When Naruto grabs it, he basically hits the one bandit in the neck, killing them. He does see, like, them losing their life, and he's like, he wants to, like, puke and such, and but it's like, he doesn't do it because he knows he needs to keep going. So in as such, Naruto basically takes out a few, blinking, and hit other people around, even picking up the kunais, that's off the ground, and putting them back in his holster by only holding two, and literally he throws back a kunai by jumping back. He throws the kunai back to the area where, he was, and he blinks to it, taking the kunai, after slimming back, and legit put it back in his pouch. Some of the people are like, what the? Even Thomas and I was looking at him in shock. Which I was just like, okay, what the heck? How did I get more agile? In a sense, the QB hasn't getting affected, but because Naruto became a Jinchuriki with the outsider mark, it has affected him somewhat. I am giving him that, like, he's a little bit more agile, and he has basically a better sensing ability now. Like a whisper of danger sense, like with Deku has. But that's passive. And the passive abilities of bloodlust and vitality and such are given to him. And like agility. They're all passive, so it's only going to be the actual abilities and not the passive skills or passive abilities. So in a sense, yeah. Gato gets killed. People in Wave, Kakashi sees Naruto waking up, but for some rare reason, when Kakashi sees blood's on Naruto, actually no, in Genjutsu Naruto had blood on him, and when Kakashi, sees from the Genjutsu Naruto getting up, and he's like standing up just like the way he is, he's like, Naruto, you're fine. He's like, yeah, because how did he get all that blood? He's like, I don't remember how. He's like, then he thinks, I bet it was that kid I killed. You know what? Never mind. As long as he's fine. So, in this one, Kakashi is protective of Naruto. The thing is, though, you'll find out later. Hold on. Alright, so, sorry. Anyways. So, technically, after God is killed and Zabuza goes to Haku, everything for that would go the same. But the last thing is, Zabuza was quite impressed with Naruto and his weird ability. So, he would decide to tell Naruto something. He's like, hey, kid. And he basically looked at Naruto. He's like, yeah? What is it? He was like, you know what happens with the 7 swordsmen when they're defeated, right? He goes, no. What? He was like, whoever defeats us is the rightful owner of our blades. So, you did defeat me. Not in a battle of strength, but a battle of words. So, take my blade. The executioner blade. Of the mist, basically. That Beijing sword. Kikipocho or something? But basically just the executioner blade. Which Naruto's eyes widen. But I can't use it. He was like, doesn't matter. You defeated me, and besides, I can see you'll become a great ninja one day. So, take it. And, basically while Zabuza, fading away, he goes like, and keep my will alive, basically. After that, Zabuza dies, Naruto is shocked, Kakashi shocked, Sakura is saying, Sasuke, you're alive! Just ignoring the whole entire scene. So, Naruto, right away, picks up, grabs the sword handle, and immediately, looks at Zabuza and says, I promise, I'll use this in pride and I'll keep your will alive. So, After that, Kakashi was shocked, but kind of proud of Naruto. Well, shocked by him, vowing to Zabuza that, but proud of him for it. Not many ninjas would do that. And so he's proud of him to have some sort of honor. So, they made Zabuza and Haku a grave. They say their prayers. Everyone's celebrating because Gato dead. So, that night, though, Naruto basically does not have a dream at all. But the outsider appears. And simply looking at the blade, he was like, so the Mist really did make the blades with the knowledge I gave them. With some void metal. Unique properties only the Hidden Mist village has with these swords. Well, it already accepted him as his master. So, let's see what blade it'll change. So what happens is very simple. Because Naruto took the blade, and Zabuza acknowledged him as the person, who defeated him, the blade changes on the person. It will still have the weight of it, but the sense when the person's holding it, it will be totally different. So, if you ever played the games, you know how Corvo's sword is basically how it basically compacts and, the blade goes inside the grip and everything. And along with Emily's sword. So, imagine a cross between that. Basically, though, how Emily's sword basically works, there's like a switch for it to basically the blade to go back in, but for this one, it basically can extend its blade to the actual thing and change it back. So that's what I mean. The Corvo sword and how it's basically, the sword basically is actually extends the blade out. That is how it will work, but basically the switch part of it, when Naruto will have to hold, will basically change the sword back into the actual executioner blade. It has two forms, so in a sense, it's a cross between Corvo's sword and Emily's sword. And Emily's sword for Dishonor too. Which the outsider is very intrigued by that. So, after that, he basically leaves. Naruto. He basically sees the actual executioner blade after he wakes up, but it looks different. It looks a lot more compact. So he goes to the sword and inspecting it. He can basically see actually feel right away it's lighter, but it still has that weight. He goes, how could it be light? How do I... He accidentally changes it back to the executioner blade with the switch, you could say. I'm just kidding with actually... actually... How should I explain this? There's like a part where there's the grip and then there's something like a metal part that basically when you grip it and push down the trigger, a trigger basically, it just turns back. He basically put pressure on the trigger by accident, it changed back to the executioner blade, but immediately lets go as it changed back to the regular blade in midair and he catches it. He was like, okay, now how do I... So he does looking at it and then he sees another switch and he kind of just pulls it down in a sense, and the blade goes back, and these little prongs in the front of it basically curves in. He was like, okay, this is a weird blade. So he puts it back. He puts it on his side. He's like, man, this is gonna be weird. So, Kakashi asked about the blade, and he was like, I put it into a storage scroll? And he walks away. Kakashi kind of shocked Naruto even knows about that. But basically shakes it off because he probably heard it from a ninja or in the academy. So, after that, the bridge is done. They named the Great Naruto Bridge, and on the way back, Naruto does, it's basically like 2 days trip, but, 2 days, well, actually 2.5. Yeah, 2 days, basically that night, Naruto has a dream with Outsider comes back to him. He goes, Naruto, welcome back. He's like, yeah, what you need, Outsider? He was like, oh, well, I wanted to give you some other information about, why does it seem like your teacher does not train you in more of the Uchiha? He was like, really? He was like, yes. I do not blame you for hating him, but I want to know your hate is misplaced. I mean, after all, he does care for you a lot. Which Naruto is kind of confused. So the outsider shows Kakashi being told by the council to train the Uchiha and forget the other two, especially the Jinchuriki. Well, they say the boy, so. And Kakashi's like, you mean Naruto? He's like, yes, him. Forget about him and train more of the Uchiha. He's like, he basically is about to say something that he cannot be told by them. But basically, though, it's the two other advisors that's also there. So he just sighs and be like, yes, fine. Basically, though, they see Kakashi walking out. They all grin by saying the demon brat cannot get stronger now. But when they switch to Kakashi, he's like, he basically punches the wall and cracks it. He's like, he says, I really hate those council. They basically praise the Uchiha. For what? He doesn't even protect this village. So after taking a deep breath in and out, he basically just says, alright, let's get going. So he leaves. That shocks Naruto, but it also makes him a little bit happy. But it still hurt that Kakashi won't be training him. Do not fret. I have a feeling there are going to be some things that are going to happen in the future. Don't worry. So Naruto nods. He was like, oh, anything else? He was like, yes. This may have your tenant a little bit happier. He's like, huh? So all of a sudden a bag comes out of nowhere as the outsider takes out a ball of red chakra, which he can feel. He goes like, that's the cubies, right? He goes, yes. Now, let us go into your mindscape. As he just touched Naruto's forehead, as they get pulled into Naruto's mindscape, and you see a cage, which Naruto's like, and it looks like a sewer. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, so my warden came to see me. He goes, wait, that's my chakra. How did you even have it? He looks at the outsider saying that. He was like, I may or may not have talked to the Shimigami. Besides, Naruto impressed me a lot, you can say. On the way, how he was able to take down so many people. Which the Kyuubi's just looking at Naruto and then back at the outsider. Goes like, wait, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm no one special, just an outsider. Anyways, I thought it was about time you got this back. As the chakra ball goes right back to the Kyuubi, and he's actually kind of shocked because he's back at full power. He grew a little bit more, which Naruto's just gaping. He goes, now then, Naruto, your magic will increase. Have fun. Flashback, though. The outsider appears in front of the Shimigami. He's like, you, what are you doing here? He was like, oh, my old friend, or acquaintance. It's been such a long time, hasn't it? He's like, what do you need? He was like, oh, the other half of Kyuubi, or Kurama. He's like, got you. Why? He was like, oh, well, I figured to give my little new person I gave my gift to his power back of his burden, or should I say his little friend. For what reason? Oh, well, he sent a couple of people out to you, and he actually impressed me because I thought he wouldn't. But he did. I mean, I knew he would, but in the sense, I didn't know he actually would have done it so well. Which the Shimigami just sighs, be like, his father ain't gonna like it. He was like, he just shakes up, waves his hands like, that man considered him, his father. Admiral he was, but a burden he put on his son, and expect the villagers to actually never harm his child. Idiotic, mostly. When Shinigami just sighs and be like, he's over there. So, Naruto, not Naruto, so the outsider goes. He goes to the door where Minato is, and he sees Minato just there at a desk working. He was like, "You, who are you?" He was like, "Oh, do not worry, I'm no one special." As he just literally shoves his hand into, Minato's gut and rips out the red chakra ball. He goes, "But I've only came here for this." He's like, "Wait, why have you taken that?" He goes like, "To return this to its owner." He goes like, "No, my son will not be able to handle it." He goes, "Oh, he'll be able to handle it quite alright." And that's how it disappears. So, Minato is shocked, doesn't know what to do, can't, protect his son, can't go back. But yeah, anyways though, after Naruto is sent out of his mindscape, the outsider says, "You are welcome, Kurama. I hope you do enjoy your power, along with your abilities that your father has given you." He was like, "How do you know my name?" He was like, "I am the outsider, an ancient being that your father knew. I only met him once, by accident, because he peered into the void." Which Kurama's eyes widened. He goes, You're the Dark One, as he calls me. Goodbye, Kurama," as he disappears. Which Kurama's legit thinking, what has the brat got himself into? So, after that, Naruto wakes up, and he kind of feels a little bit different. He feels a lot more stronger and lighter. Heck, he actually feels a little bit taller. So, he's gonna have some physical changes, but not much. Just get a little bit more taller, a little bit more muscular and such, and be more faster. So basically improve himself. So yeah. Anyways, they get back to the village the other half of the day, around noon. Well, after 1, so like 2? Yeah, 2 o'clock. They go back, and Hiruzen is getting the debrief. And, well, let's just say this. He's happy that they survived, not happy that, they were in a dangerous situation, but Naruto has been quiet and looking at Hiruzen with a little bit of, of curiosity and a little bit of worry and slash anger, which that surprises him. But in a sense, yeah. But anyway, so after Kakashi's getting chewed out a little bit, he basically sends everyone out besides Naruto. He goes, "Naruto, my boy, is everything okay?" He was actually asking Naruto to stay, which Naruto was like, "Gigi, why won't you ever tell me about my parents?" He goes, "Naruto, I already told you. They died in the QB attack." He's like, "But you never told me their names." He goes, "Because I do not know." "I'm sorry. I told you this plenty of times." Whereas Naruto's just looking at Hiruzen, and for some reason, Hiruzen sees that something's changing. He's like, "Naruto." He was like, "You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to ask you about my parents no more. I'm not going to ask you about anything. If you won't tell me that, then fine. I'm just done with this, Hiruzen." Well, Sarutobi, which Hiruzen's shocked. He goes, "Naruto." He's like, "No, I am tired. I'm tired of the way the village treats me. I am tired of you lying to me." "Oh, yes, I know. I know you lied to me. I know because that look in your eye. You forget, the window to the soul is through the eyes. So I am tired of you lying to me about you do not know my parents. Alright? I tried to forgive the villagers, okay? I've tried. But I can't. So, in a sense, I can never forgive the villagers for what they did. And I know what they did to me. And, hell, guess what? I think they should really get rid of all their hatred. They should forget it. They should stop. Because I am not the QB. I am me. Naruto is a Maki. So, yeah. I'm just done with everything. So, say whatever you want to me. Say whatever you can do to make yourself feel better with yourself. But I'm done. I'm not done being a ninja for Konoha. I'm just done with the lies. I'm done with all the beatings. Goodbye, Saratobi. He just, no, I think that technically he goes like, he goes like, goodbye, Hokage-sama, and just leave. Which, that would crush Hiruzen. He did not realize, even though he's trying to keep Naruto safe from Aiwa and the people inside the village, he did not know that might have been breaking their relationship that he had with Naruto. But then he remembers a note when he became the Hokage by his teacher, Tobarama. I almost said it wrong. Tobarama Senju. He goes, Hiruzen, if you're reading this note, I appointed you Hokage. I only have a few words to say. 1. Even if you are trying to do the right reason, somebody may not agree with you and hate you for it. 2. Do not let that bother you. It's many hardships you'll have to do with becoming a Hokage, so you must have the resolve to do what you need to do, protect the village and the people. And 3. No matter what, whatever you do is not your fault. It's only the fault if you let it be, and not accept it and move on. Always remember these 3 things, Hiruzen. For in the end, you are only a human being. So, Hiruzen just sighs and be like, I'm sorry, Naruto. Which Naruto just sighs like, I can't believe I said that to him, but I'm just so tired, and I said to the outsider I will not keep my mask on. Yeah. I technically am done with this. So, when Naruto's walking, all of a sudden, a medium-sized bird, drops something. Well, actually swoops down towards Naruto, goes above him, drops something, and Naruto catches it. It's an apple. He's like, huh? Okay. Weird. He just starts eating it. And meanwhile, though, at his house, for some rare reason, something's happening. Some animals on the floor and birds on 2 different buildings, about 10 each, look at Naruto's apartment. They nod. And they go disappear. Which no one recognized besides some Ambu and some ninjas, which they thought that was weird. So, in a sense, no one knows what happened. So Naruto gets back to his home, and he just says, you know what, I'm just tired. I'll eat when I wake up and go back to bed afterwards. So, Naruto, sleeps. He technically does not wake up. Technically, he held that in for so long, it just was kind of not, it should not be mentally exhausted, but it's just, he felt like a lot of weight left his shoulders. But during that night, something strange happens. At around midnight, somehow in some way, some creatures appear into Naruto's room. Well, not room. More like his apartment building. His basically apartment room. And open up the door as many different creatures, rats and birds, come into the building and opened up the actual fridge and brought in food. These foods were actually basically taken from vendors that are in the stores that no one's going to recognize. And there's even a few cookbooks there for Naruto. And basically, they left as the rats that were in the room. They open up the door, lock it after closing it, and go back for the hole. Now, if you're wondering how is this even possible, these are minor creatures that the void made. You see, the outsider lives in the void and such, and, is the god of it as such. But at the same time, there are creatures that can be manifest and created, which, technically speaking, only a person can have. So, who this person is not going to be shown or told just yet. But just know, someone outside of the village basically has a void creature on his arm. He's like, so, has it been done? As the creature nods and disappears. He was like, well, it looks like I'm babysitting a kid. Can't believe the outsider asked me to do this. Well, it doesn't matter. I can understand why. Getting intel on these villagers are a piece of crap. Charging a kid just because he's in jerky? Rotten to the core. Someday soon this kid will leave this village. I won't blame him. So, after that morning, when Naruto goes, he sees cookbooks right away. Like, he does his business, he's waking up. He basically hit his toe that woke him up, and he's like, oh, man, I can't wait to hit my... You know what? Just move forward. So, Naruto is kind of like still freaking out though on the inside with all this like knowledge he has and stuff with the void. But then, but just because he's been not thinking about it, it's been distracting him. Also, if you guys are wondering about evil Naruto or dark Naruto, since he basically took off the mask, it's kind of like they fuse without knowing. So in a sense, yeah, Naruto's back just his true self, or what he would be without him acting all hyperactive and goofy all the time. He's still hyperactive, it's just not much. So yeah, but I just want to say that. But basically, Naruto sees the books on his table. He's like, huh? He goes over, he's like, cookbook for beginners and dummies? Bacon, like cooking for dummies medium level? I am stupid on a lot of things. And I only have a little knowledge of cooking. But I only have ramen. It's not like I'm gonna open up my fridge and there's gonna be a whole bunch of food. So Naruto opens up his fridge and there's a whole bunch of food. You say, what? He goes to the cabinets and there's food. Well, basically ingredients and such and spices. And he's like, I'm not gonna question it. I'm gonna question this. What the heck? How is this even possible? How? I know I can't shop for this stuff. I'm basically have to pay like 1,265 yen for this. But Ryu, actually 2,000, like 20,000. So in a sense, but Naruto just sighs and like, it's just a weird day. He closes the cabinet and literally just start making food. Basically, bacon, eggs, toast, butter. I actually have non-spoiled milk. Yeah. So, after that, we do know the Chunin exams do come up and it would have been like a couple of months. I would say 3 months. So in a sense, yeah, Naruto gets D-rank mission. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura gets D-rank missions. Kakashi also in this kind of would not, do any more teamwork exercises. More like he actually trains. He's paying a lot more attention to Sasuke, but he makes Shadow Clone, 2 of them, to help out Sakura and Naruto. Basically, Naruto's like, Kashi, Sensei, why are you making Shadow Clone? He's like, wait, you can use the Shadow Clone Jutsu? He's like, Cave Punch, yeah, I can. Look, here's the thing. I decided to do something against the council. Yes, civilian? Wait, how do you... Lucky guess. The civilian's been after me for a long time. So, it just kind of figured a civilian council would have told you to do something because of Sasuke. How they treat him like a prince. He's like, yeah. They told me to not train you or Sakura. Especially you, with your condition. He's like, yeah, I know. I figure that much since you're telling me. He's like, yeah, I decided to say, I don't care what they say. You, Sakura, and Sasuke are not ready. I may be training with Sasuke, the real me's training with him. But here's the thing. I'm gonna teach you things that basically will help you. Besides, your basics aren't the best. Before you even say anything, listen. He kind of explains why he needs to know the basics. And he kind of says, he kind of did say he also looked into his records at the school, and, well, he wasn't impressed, but at the same time, he started to realize last night, after going through some stuff, that it could be because of the tampering. So he wanted to ask, has there's anything been tampered? He was like, oh yeah, my taijutsu. He was like, huh? Mizuki sensei basically was the one who basically taught me a taijutsu style. And he just sighs like, I should. Okay, this just proves it. Alright, we're gonna try to improve yourself. So, first off, let me see what you can do. Make shot clones. He's like, oh, because of the transfer knowledge. How do you... there was a note on the Forbidden Scroll. I kind of just forgot about it until recently. It's like, okay. Which, he kind of realized he's not putting on a mask no more. He hasn't even talked to Sakura. Strange. So, Naruto makes about 1,000 shadow clones. It's like, alright. So, he basically tells a couple of, like 500 of them to do tree walking. Yeah, no, actually 200 do tree walking. Basically another 200 to basically go to the library. Well, yeah, 200 to go to the library, learn all the Genin, level E jutsus and such, along with basically his normal history and stuff, trying to help him get back in education. Just everything from civilian to Genin stuff. And only dispel at least 5 at a time after reading a book. And so they do not. And basically the rest is basically gonna actually... He went to a guy and asked for a training style. He told how Naruto is. But at the same time, he had a feeling that Naruto isn't always brash. He can be silent at times and be serious. So at the same time, he wants to have at least 3 different styles. One to be brash, have a final style where he just runs in and with power, or one with speed, since him and Nambu chase him around. And then the other one is a mixture between both. So Guy did give him some scrolls on that. And Naruto basically, takes those scrolls that Kakashi, the clone of Kakashi, did take from the original. And he also takes out the bag of chakra paper. Basically, though, Naruto doesn't know. He's like, what's that? He's like, oh, this is chakra paper. Here, just put some chakra into it and you'll see your element. He's like, okay. So, we find out Naruto's element is wind, mainly wind. And he has basically then, because it was cut, one thing is, the paper starts to go on fire, burn. Basically, it's a strong fire, but not that strong. The next one, lightning. It's like this. It's basically the secondary. Fire's third, so it basically crumbles up. But then at the same time, it reopens and then gets soaked. Which Kakashi's like, huh. So you have 4 elements. Wind is the main one. Lightning is the secondary one. Fire and water on the same level. Interesting. See, goes, okay. Why? Because it's not, basically says it's not unique to, well, again, it to actually have 4, but you are done predictable ninja, Naruto. Thanks, Kakashi-sensei. So, what happens is very simple. Kakashi tells him he doesn't have much wind jutsus. He does have earth. He does tell he has earth, lightning, fire, and water. Not many water, but plenty of fire and lightning, since those are two things he basically studied in. He also has some earth. He can basically teach him another element, but for now, they're gonna try to focus on his secondary, down with his third. He only has a few basically water jutsu, so that'll be the last one. So he basically would tell. Well, actually, make the Cage Bunch and we'll go back to the original. Ask Kakashi to make a few more. He can make around maybe like I think a good 10. So he basically after making 2, he can only make like 8 more. So he makes at least until he makes let's just say around 7 more child clones as they start basically actually trying, body flickering over to the back to his place and grabbing some scrolls and actually writing down jutsus that Naruto can use that basically will be, since he has so much chakra, at least not E rank, more like C to B rank. Well, D to C and B rank. Just to C. The B rank will be later, but yeah. So they come back and so a couple hours pass. The Shadow Clones in the library learned everything they could, dispelled slowly for Naruto, which he was very shocked by all the things he did not know, and legit learned from the library, including about Fuinjutsu and a little bit more of the Uzumaki clan and such, which I was surprising. He also learned some of the basic E-rank jutsus from the Genin and Civilian somehow, even including some fighting styles. Basically, so in a sense, Naruto became pretty proficient in the higher rank jutsus. The Shadow Clones were training with that. Along with then he basically after after 100 Shadow Clones, basically was mastering actual tree walking. Around 50 of them, just kept on practicing, even though they mastered it already. After the other 50, basically left and made 100, he basically showed them water walking the Shadow Clone. So yeah. Naruto basically got stronger and chakra control very quickly. The jutsus he was learning from lightning and fire, and just the lightning and fire jutsus take a little bit of time. He basically though has them. He basically just explained about elemental manipulation. Sakura also was taught just like Naruto. She was basically trying to get her reserves, but she also had learned some genjutsu and chakra. Chakra, medical chakra, or medical ninjutsu. Sasuke was trained physically and also given some jutsu, and even helping him with the Sharingan. So, and this will go on for about, let's just say, 2 months. 2 months and 3 days. Because the junior exams were actually escalated to be in the middle of the month. So yeah, anyways though. But we do go to the second month and, 2 months and the second day. Well, no, 2 months on the third day, yeah. That night, where he gets another visit from the outsider, but I'm gonna let it go here. I'm gonna see how this video is. I hope you guys like it. Tell me what you think. And, yeah, so I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.